Bobbi on Beauty and Style Network. Today I am here with Jasmine Allmon, who I actually get the pleasure to work with also. So I'm really happy to have her here on the show. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so I know I enrolled you in beauty school, and so I know kind of a little bit of the backstory, but tell me where everything started for you. When did you find your passion for this?
So it's kind of complex. When I started school, I don't think I knew that I was going to be so deep into all the things that I'm into now. I kind of thought I was just going to do the bare minimum, maybe just spa facials, work somewhere low key. So I don't even think I knew that I wanted all this up front. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But now that I'm in it, like I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Before this, I had done school online. I thought I was going to do like traditional college. That wasn't my jam.
What were you majoring in? Like when you were little or in high school, like what were you going to do? Or was it esthetician?
First of all, when I was little, I thought I was going to be the next Tyra Banks. So
okay.
I wanted to model, but I like snacks
we're close.
too much, so.
We're close.
Yeah, it wasn't not my calling. So I really didn't know. I kind of went through a season of kind of trying to figure that out. I thought maybe I was going to do ministry, and then I thought maybe I wanted to be a social worker, and I did an internship at a group home, and I was like, because I want to take all these babies home. That's too much. So I wanted to be able to serve people in a way that didn't mess with my mental as much and kind of weigh on me as heavy. So this is definitely the avenue for me because I'm able to love on people, encourage them, make them feel good about themselves, and it be a lighter environment for me.
Yeah. So you came to school how long has it been since you graduated beauty school?
Oh gosh, we're telling my age a little bit now. Almost 5 years ago, I think.
Okay. Awesome.
Close.
And then you've been working here at the school. So you went through the instructor training program.
Yes. It's almost been 2 years.
Yes. Got licensed to teach, and now you're one of our senior instructors here at the school.
Yes.
So tell me what you love, because I know like teaching was maybe something that we talked, but it wasn't always like your direct path. Like I don't know if you knew, in beauty school that you were going to be back teaching you so quickly. Like maybe down the road or whatever, but you came back quick. So tell me a little bit about teaching. Like what do you love about it? What kind of surprises you about it? What are some challenges that you face? What's teaching like?
It is a double-edged sword. It has its ups and its downs. I'm just being candid. I don't know another way to be. So yeah, I love being able to impart and give back and use the little bit of knowledge that I have accumulated these past few years.
Like a lot of knowledge, by the way. You're so knowledgeable.
Sure.
You are.
Sure. Yeah, I really enjoy that part. I love helping to equip the students with just little things you may not get just out of a textbook, just experience, my life experience. I love that part. I love building relationships with them. A lot of them, after they leave, they're in my DMs like, what do I do about this? And what about this product line? And that lasting relationship is really fulfilling for me. I really enjoy that.
I think that's my favorite part. I don't think I realized like working on the school side that like that was going to be so important. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll get to help them get into school, and then I'll get to help them when they're here. But it's everything after and staying close and all that stuff, and just seeing you all be so successful. And then again, you getting to come back and like then work for us is so awesome because we get to be close in such a different way. It's like just more grown up relationship. Like you're not just a graduate. We get to like go through the good, the bad, the ugly together, the hard days. And so I think that that's something that's really special. Yeah. What do you love teaching? I know you kind of mentioned like your real life experience, and I'm sure when you're because you split your time, you teach and you're still doing this. You still are, medical esthetician and doing all of that. So do you come in some days and you're like, oh, you are not going to believe what I dealt with this weekend, and then able to share that, or is it like a little delayed?
When we're learning different chapters and different parts of the curriculum, I have like, oh yeah, last week I did this treatment, and so I know what to look for. I know, what questions to ask. I had an example this week, and we're learning about electricity and different modalities and how I I don't know if I want to share this. Here we go. I had a client that I didn't properly talk to about her indications. And long story short, she had a metal piece in her mouth. And I used a modality that was a contraindication. So that's a real life experience for me to go back and tell the students. Make sure you know what's going on with your client. So, we don't.
But those little things, like, you will never forget that now. Never. You know what I mean? Like, it takes one time, then you're like, okay, I will ask every single time this lesson.
Every single time.
And how awesome is it for the students that they get that right away? Yeah. Like, they're going to remember that and be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. Like, I just feel like...
walk so they can run.
Yes. Exactly. But I love that. And we're so thankful to have you here. And like I said, the students are just so lucky to have you. Just have so many different people. I think, like, especially on the aesthetic side, you all are specialize in something like a little bit different. I know you and Ashley both love waxing, and that is your hobby.
You got on.
Can I actually just say, yes, I was just gonna say this. Jasmine is the only person that sometimes when I look at her Instagram stories, I have to like block. I like put my hand over it to make sure that it isn't something, because she'll post stuff about waxing, and I'm like, Jasmine, like this is real life. Like I feel like I'm
just
there.
Hair on the strip, and she was gagging. I'm like,
I'm queasy. I could not do the aesthetic side. That is for sure. Funny. That is a special skill. But yes, like you're so real, and I think that is what everybody loves you so much for, because you are so open and honest. I'm sure even on social media, your personality comes across so well. Like even on your social media, I'm like, yeah, that's Jasmine. Like that's Jasmine. It's not.
That's always good.
It's not a different person. No, I think that's something that's really special. So we'll drop her handle and everything, so you all can go follow her too. And if you're queasy, maybe just like slowly go through the stories. Yeah. So what is it right now that you are like obsessed with about aesthetics, and where do you see kind of like an interest growing for you?
Obsessed with, well, it's fall and winter season, so that means chemical peels. If you're into it, love it. I'm ready to throw some Jasmine on my face right now, which is the peel that really peels back in layers, and this is the perfect time for it. So I'm super excited to be getting into that, because we shy away from it more in the summer.
Because of sun exposure.
Exactly. And people don't follow post-care and pre-care, and so winter is the best time for stuff like that. Super obsessed with that. Right now I'm really excited about permanent makeup. I know Chad's doing this thing, and so it's definitely becoming more popular. And I'm in an internship or apprenticeship to be able to do permanent makeup. So brows, lips, eyeliner, areolas, scalp. I'm super excited about that, and adding that to my wheelhouse for sure.
So will you be able to offer those services where you are currently?
So I can already, technically, whenever you're underneath a medical director, you can, but I'm seeking this apprenticeship so that I can really sharpen my skill set, and I'll probably work outside of the medical office and offer both, because I like to have multiple streams of income is my MO. So.
Yes. Now, where are you working currently right now?
So Tennessee School of Beauty, part-time, senior instructor. And then I'm also at Performance Medicine. It's a integrative and holistic medical office, and they do a lot of great work. And I'm the in-house esthetician there. So I'm the only one that's doing the peels, the microneedling. I do all the advanced medical stuff.
Did they have an esthetician before you, or are you the first esthetician?
They did years ago, and they didn't have one, and then it just kind of happened that we merged together. So I'm an independent contractor. I can kind of make my own schedule.
Awesome.
But I'm able to do so much more underneath the medical director.
Yeah.
And more advanced skincare. That's what I'm passionate about.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So your experience coming out of beauty school, as an African-American woman here in Knoxville, Tennessee, kind of what was that experience like for you? Did you grow up in Knoxville, by the way?
I've been here for the last 10, 11 years in East Tennessee, but I'm from Florida. So I'm from a melting pot of every different culture, every different demographic. So definitely a culture shock coming here, being one of the only few Blacks that I know in my industry that's out there really working and doing the things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the minority. And I guess that faces some challenges, or I have faced some challenges in that. But I guess I've kind of paved my own way and kind of created space for myself where there hasn't always been. So.
Yeah. Who have you looked up to through this time? Is there anybody even just like globally that you follow that kind of has inspired you as an esthetician?
I follow lots of different people. I don't think there's one person in particular. But in general, just the industry itself, the way it evolves and the way that there's so many different things. I follow so many different people doing so many different things. That's like, okay, that's interesting. I would like to learn more about that. Or so it's not just one person. I feel like the industry in itself inspires me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think a conversation that we've had definitely over the last couple of years, definitely on the cosmetology side, is, making sure that our students are trained in every texture level of hair, that it's not just like one way that we're teaching, right? And I think that it was a wake-up call, I think, across beauty schools in the country everywhere of like, what are we teaching and what do we need to be adding in and what do we need to be teaching better? Do you have anything in mind that you think, is kind of a direction that we need to be going or focused on more? I know that we had talked kind of before we started recording about your friends going into other estheticians and them not knowing how to do their skin.
Yeah, I have clients that have come to me that are deeper skin types, skin tones that have been turned away from places locally that are afraid to touch them or afraid to do more advanced procedures because they're not confident in how to treat deeper skin types. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if you are licensed and this is your field, there should be nobody that you're turning away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What
like,
are the differences, like, mostly, or, like, the most known? I mean, skin is skin, correct?
Yeah.
And there's just different tone levels. So what are the differences? I mean, what are the things that are challenging or need to be added
There are some
in?
treatments that, if you're not careful, can remove your pigment and it not come back.
Okay.
So I think that's the thing that people are nervous about. There's some laser treatments. There's some lasers that aren't suited for deeper skin types. There are some chemical peels that aren't the best for deeper skin types. So, but I think it's your responsibility as a professional, as a licensed professional, to know the difference, to have the education, to have the knowledge to be able to treat everybody the same. And that's definitely something that's lacking in this area for sure.
Yeah. I almost am thinking, like, I mean, my brain's, like, always going to, like, what should we be doing and what's different? You know, like, I feel like offering kind of, like, add-on classes for these things.
Yeah.
Of just even able to handle how to have the conversations that are in a way that, like, are not offensive. Like, there's ways to talk about all of this, you know, that just can be more open. And I think sometimes people get nervous when they just don't know. Like you said, they just haven't been taught, but that's not,
It's not an excuse, though.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we need to be better than that. We need to make sure that, like, that is being taught, which is, again, I think a reason that we're so lucky to have you. And our students are so, you know, lucky to be able to talk to you about all this, and you're literally in the classroom with them.
Yeah.
And I think we had talked about kind of the student diversity changing a little bit, and why that's so important for us to be able to work on different skin types and different skin tones. I think that that's another thing, is the more diversity we have, the more practice everybody's going to be when they leave, because in our classrooms, the students work on each other.
Yeah.
So you and I might work together on one day, and then we're going to go on to a different student. I think that that's the best way to get this education out there.
Hands-on.
But definitely. And I think the students are, like I said, just so lucky to have you. So let's talk about beauty school. So beauty school, we are very open and honest on the show about it not being easy. It's something that is usually something completely different than what you expect.
The struggle bus. I was driving the struggle bus during beauty school. It was a completely different time.
I remember you being, like, an amazing student. Like, I remember, like, we were talking with Cass about, like, some of the challenges she faced. And I think her and I were really close, and so I knew when she was going through things. But I felt like you were just an awesome student. Like, I just remember you being, like, perfect. Maybe you hit it from me.
It wasn't me, but the experience in general was really crazy. We were in transition of instructors. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I do.
There was a lot of drama with some. It was a lot.
So what tips do you have for somebody that's thinking about going into this, and especially somebody that's maybe not as encouraged to do this, or doesn't think that that they can come into this industry? What tips do you have?
What I tell people the most is research all the schools in this area, know their curriculum, know what you're wanting to do versus what they offer. There's a lot of people that may go somewhere else. I won't name any of the schools, but then have to go, and what's a part of our curriculum here, they have to add on. Does that make sense? So they're not getting the basics that we cover here are not the basics somewhere else. And they're lacking in some things. I don't know if that's good to say, but it's the truth. And that's what I did. I did my due diligence. I toured multiple schools. I found out what they offered, and I went with who I knew would give me the most for my money, to be honest, and my time.
Yeah. Well, we're so happy that you chose here. And it's not going to be easy, but I think, you know, going to a place that offers instructors that are not just one instructor, like, you're going to need people that are different, because like you said, what you're able to bring in experience wise, from being like, oh, I worked on this client and this happened, like Ashley.
And it's awesome because we have different opinions about stuff. So it's cool to see that there's more than one way to accomplish something. Ashley has a different idea about how to do some treatments and some things, and I may differ, but we kind of give them both scenarios and let them kind of choose the way that they, you know, gravitate towards. So.
Yeah. And I think that, like, those things can change, and we're always just learning, growing, and you have to be a part of a family and team and school that just is always doing that. Because I think the issue, especially in this industry where things can get a little sticky, is when people are just stuck in one way, because there are so many different ways to do beauty
and there's so much more to the industry. Like, today I started a class on phlebotomy. Because I can use it with my aesthetics. So it's always about being a student, continuing to learn, continuing to add on different things to your wheelhouse, because the industry is forever growing and changing. And if you're not moving, you're getting left behind. And so we're all really good about that here as instructors. We're doing our due diligence about continuing our education so that we can bring it back to the classroom and better service the students.
Yeah. Okay. And then just one more thing that I want to talk to you about. So you just kind of, like, we were just having this conversation, and I don't know if we'll be able to put this out there or not, but about you partnering with Girl Talk. There's an organization here locally that you are just like just jumping into and starting. So tell us about how you found Girl Talk and then what this is going to be for you and then in turn, obviously, for
it's definitely been on my heart for a long time. So if y'all don't know, Girl Talk is a mentorship program where adults mentor young girls to help prevent teen pregnancy and just help them through different adolescent issues, just partnering with them through life, just spending time with them, building a relationship and a rapport. And I've been wanting to do it for a long time and in my head about it, like I don't have time, but you make time for what you want to make time for. And so I'm excited to partner with them, and they do a lot in the community of Knoxville. They do a lot of outreach. They do a lot of just ministry together, and I'm excited to get into that.
And so you said it's required like one outing a month, but you're going to try to obviously do like as much as you can. What are you hoping to gain from this? I mean, I know this is a give back thing. What are you hoping to see from this?
Well, I know for me, I had a single mom. And I had older sisters that were out the house, so it was really just my mom and I. When she was working, I didn't have, another person. So I'm just hoping to be that other person to support, to encourage, to uplift and impart. That's just, that's in me to give. And so I'm excited to be able to share that for sure.
Well, I love that. You're so special. I can't wait to see. We'll probably follow up a little more on that too, because I think it's exciting. It's definitely something that, we're interested in getting involved in. So it might be a little more part of our story down the road too. But I just think it's so great. Like I said, to be an example for somebody to say like, okay, she went through something similar to me and now look where she is. Because, whether you want to admit it or not, you are an extremely amazing example of somebody that's really special. And I think that like the more that we can get back to that, the world will be a better place.
Aww, I'm going to cry.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And make sure you're following on Beauty and Style Network. Make sure you're clicking that bell so you are getting notified of when the new episodes are coming out. And we can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.